Hi. I have a review. What am I reviewing? You clicked on it, dingus. Psycroptic with their self-titled album, Psycroptic. It's their sixth album ever. That's all they put out. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I haven't talked about this band on this channel yet, but I am now. So Psycroptic is an Australian death metal band. They've been around. Their debut came out in 2001, I believe, and they're a technical death metal band, so they are very, very talented. And this record is the follow-up to the Inherited Repression from 2012. I got into Psycroptic a long fucking time ago. It was actually one of the first death metal bands I really got into. And I bought the record Observant, and that is a mighty fine record. And then the Inherited Repression came out, and I was like, this is doing nothing for me. Don't know why, but now their self-titled is here, and it just seemed to do a little bit more for me. They do small little bit of new things. So Psycroptic are very, very technical. Like, I really like Observant with the title track, Slaves of Nile, or Nil, whatever it is. Initiate was the very first song I heard by this band. I was like, cool. In the very first track, Echoes to Come, got the track listing here. Echoes to Come, it starts off and it reminds me of Initiate for some reason. Then it busts into the technicality that you know from Psycroptic. Now, most tech death anymore really bores me. Like, really, really bores me. It's just wankery on the guitar and just showing off what I can do. Not really writing some songs. Showing that you can do a whole bunch of sweeps and fucking arpeggios and all kinds of tappy bullshit as fast as you can. And that shit's boring. It's really, really boring. You know, I look at like Necrophagus really doesn't do anything for me. Personally, like Archspire doesn't really do anything for me either. You know, those type of bands. But for some reason, Psycroptic is a little bit different in that they don't really do that. They just have really technical riffs. Now, this album, one thing that I don't like about Psycroptic, and I think it's the reason, or New Psycroptic, maybe the reason why the Inherited Repression didn't really grab me, I don't like their new sound. They have a different sound than they did on Observant. Like, I just jammed Observant, you know, just today before I did this review, because I'm like, you know, I haven't listened to this album in a while. I want to go back and listen to it. And I'm like, man, that's a heavy record. Like, that album is very, just, it's got a very thick and aggressive sound to it, and I really liked it. And a lot, you know, it's something that didn't really stick out to me until now. And then I, you know, gave their self-titled one last listen, and their guitar sound just sounds a little bit like it's coming from a Fender amp, if you know what I mean. That type of just weird tubey-like sound, and it's not that incredibly heavy to me. And maybe they wanted to clean it up because of the technicality of their riffs, because you can hear them, they are a little bit more clean with this type of sound. But I miss the heaviness, because when it gets really heavy and they're doing some thick palm mutes and, you know, lots of double bass going, it just doesn't sound the same to me personally. Now, this is Psycroptic as you know them, though. It's technical, and what Psycroptic to me has always kind of stood out in that they write some actually really catchy songs. The Inherited Repression didn't really do anything for me, but Carriers of the Plague did a lot for me. That is a good song, and that's a very catchy song. The very first track, Echoes to Come, is very catchy, and Soul Once Lost, probably one of my other favorites on here, is very catchy as well. Soul Once Lost, I really kind of like the chorus in that song. The riff for the chorus is just so strange and just sounds kind of like turds, but I like it. It just seems to work. And that's one thing about Psycroptic, you know, they use kind of some notes that you wouldn't expect them to use in their riffs. and you just wouldn't expect the riff to go in that direction, which kind of makes them a little bit unique in that regard. So Joe, I believe his name is Joe. I forget his last name. The guitar player, he's a very talented dude. And you know, the riffage after a while, I feel it gets a little bit samey, and it, you know, their songwriting gets a little bit samey. But I feel when they put together a good song, it's really, really good. And it always seems that they're very, you know, changing up tempos a lot in the songs. Well, for the most part. It always seems there's that one, you know, more mid-tempo or slower section, chunkier death metal style. Most of the time it's just a fast, aggressive, thrashy, technical assault on your fucking face. And you know, that's their style, man. Now, vocally, I think things are a little bit different. I always thought Psycroptic, with Jason on vocals, had a very interesting sound vocally, and there's not really a death metal vocalist out there that sounds like him, in my opinion. And you know, I think that really works in their favor, and he sounds just as good as always. But if there's some kind of more clean vocals and just different style of vocals going on, not really clean, it's more just kind of a little bit shouty, talky type things. In the track Sentenced of Immortality and Echoes to Come have it as well. And I thought it adds more to it. It's different than your just typical screaming in your fucking face type deal. Also, at times his vocals really sound like, personally to me, he's nothing like him but Kirk Weinstein from Crowbar and Down and Kingdoms of Sorrow and all the other fucking bands he's in. I don't know why. He just sounds like him. But I think vocally it works. Not the catchiest vocals in the world. Yeah, I just feel overall as an effort, this is just good. It's not great. It's just good. So I'm going to wrap this up. Check out Psycroptic. I'm going to give this album a 7.5 out of 10. It's a pretty solid record. Get your tech death on. Thanks for watching and subscribing. See you later.